how to talk to my spouse about my pornography addiction. This is a huge topic, and if this is you, stay with us. You're going to learn a lot. If you've not subscribed to our channel, please hit the button. And if you got a question, put it in the box. We will get to it as soon as possible. First of all, I want to say that you're very brave for just even watching this. I'm Dr. Doug Weiss. I'm the Executive Director of Heart to Heart Counseling Center. I've been treating sex addicts, porn addicts, infidelity for 40 years. I'm the president of the American Association for Sex Addiction Therapy. I have worked with over 5,000 men and women and couples to deal with these issues. So I just want you to know, I'm not just a therapist who's on YouTube wanting to just have clicks. That's not my heart. My heart is really to help you here. So if you have a pornography addiction, I want to say, first of all, I understand. I've been clean for 40 years, and I've helped thousands of men and women get free. Now, I know many of you watching this are men, and any women, I understand you can apply everything I'm talking about if you're a female sex addict and you're stuck in pornography as well. These principles work no matter what gender you are. So just hear what I'm about to say to you, because it can really be life-changing. Now, I'm going to assume that you're not caught. Because if you got caught, it's a different conversation altogether. I'm going to assume that you haven't told hardly anybody, if anybody. So with those assumptions, that's what I'm going to talk about. You have a secret world, you have the guilt, you have the shame, you have probably some low-grade anxiety about one day you're going to get caught, one day you're going to get discovered, someone's going to find out, God's going to tell on you. And trust me, all of those concerns are valid, because for the last 40 years, I've worked with men and women who thought there was such a thing as a secret and they wouldn't get caught, and they did get caught by the most craziest ways possible. So I will warn you, the probability of you getting caught is high. It's a matter of when. And so the fact that you want to talk about this tells me that you're different. You want to heal. And if you want to heal, your chances of success are way better. And we really do have a lot of information on YouTube and materials that can help you. But you want to have a conversation with your spouse. This is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done, and maybe one of the most healing things you've ever done. Now, I want to give you some options here. I don't know your spouse at all. I don't know how naive they are, how religious they are, or how not any of those things they are. I don't know if they've got a strong sexual past, or none at all. So there's some variables here, so I want to talk through some basic principles. The first thing you want to do is you want to talk to someone of the same gender. Now, this could be someone in your spiritual community, a pastor, priest, rabbi, okay, because they've heard this before. It can be a counselor, but if it's a counselor, please verify they have some training. I've done research, and over 90% of therapists who say they treat people with pornography addictions don't. They have no training. They're not certified. I'm the president of the American Association for Sex Addiction Therapy. I train and certify therapists. But most who advertise about sex addiction don't treat it. Okay, they've read a book, maybe. So make sure, and if you don't have that in your area, call my office, 719-278-3708, because you'll talk to someone who's very competent. They've gone through 45 hours of training. They spent 6 months or more in supervision with me. And if they're on my team, they've been here for years, whether they're a coach or a counselor. But talk to someone of the same gender and give them your situation, because that's going to be the best way for someone to really help you decide how and when, okay? Now, the where is important. Where you tell your spouse will always be remembered, because right now your spouse is going to be traumatized, literally traumatized by this information. Now, you want to not have it in a place that's familiar to her. Not your bedroom, not your living room, not your house, preferably somewhere that is safe and maybe more public, a park, a coffee shop or a restaurant where you can get somewhere quiet would be okay, or just a location where you can have space by yourselves that's not a place that you regularly go to. Because she or he will remember this space for the rest of their life, or at least for many years, of where their world got turned upside down. And some spouses, their responses you can't control. They could be very solemn, very gracious, very forgiving, are very enraged, are even worse, they start crying uncontrollably. So there's no way of regulating how they're going to respond, male or female. So the where is important. Now, I would say this. First, talk to someone of the same gender. And if you have that counselor, if you can do this with a counselor, that is the optimal situation. And when you do it with the counselor, you've already told your story to the counselor so they know what you're going to say. They can let you say what you need to say and then spend time with your spouse and get them regulated and let them know that you already have a plan, what you're going to do, if you're going to take polygraphs in the future, if you're going to verify that you're clean, if you're going to shut down your sources on your computer, your cell phone, however you access the pornography. And there's more help and support for her or him because they're going to be in pain. And we have stuff for the partner betrayal trauma for women. We have the betrayed man for men. And so there's help for them material-wise as well. But the optimal situation is not by yourself, with someone who's competent, who can actually help your spouse. And if you want to come do an intensive in Colorado Springs, you're welcome to. Call 719-278-3708. We can get the information, get her healing, get you healing, and expedite your couple recovery all at the same time in 5 days. So you can get a lot done. Now, when you tell your spouse, make sure that they don't have a lot of responsibility right afterwards. Make sure that they have a window of time where if you're going to have a babysitter, you go back, you take care of the kids, because they might want space. They might even want to stay in a room, a hotel room, or go be with their mom or dad for a day or two before, as they get their head together. So just be prepared to be able to take care of things if they have a large need. And not all of them do. For some, they go, okay, you started this as a kid, it has nothing to do with me. But for some, the pornography is meaning and they make it about them and they think that somehow they're deficient. So what you say is also important. You start off with first, what I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with you. You're a great person, great wife, great husband. I've been in love with you, I'm committed to you. But I need to share a part of my past of brokenness and how I medicated my brokenness. And of course, if you spoke to a counselor, you might get more language for this. That has nothing to do with you, but I'm going to let you know I'm going to take some course of action to get better. I've already started, which is your best line. I've already started, and I want you to be at least informed and maybe part of the process. And of course, they're going to be suspicious of what you're going to say. But if you frame it in a way that it's not about them to start with, it's really super helpful. If you just blurt it out, then they have to decide if it's about them or not. You take the steering wheel, you put the frame on it. This is not about you. I want to tell you something that started in my life when I was 8, 10, 12 years old. I want to tell you that when I was 8, 10, or 12 years old, I found a porn magazine and I started using it to masturbate. And based on what I figured out, I think I've done that 500 times or 1,000 times. And I attached myself to that, okay? Neurologically, I found out that I've created a sexual attachment to the pornography. Maybe even psychologically, it's where I went to feel safe and comforted. And I need to grow up. I need to grow past this. But I can't do it by myself. I'm going to need some other people of the same gender, a counselor, but I'm committed to do this. And let them know if it involved others or not. You're going to have to be perfectly clear about that. Many guys who do pornography never cheat. Some do. But that will be one of your first questions. Did you cheat on me? Did you touch the kids? These are normal questions. That doesn't mean she thinks you're a pedophile or a cheater. It means she wants to know what her reality is or his reality is. So be prepared to answer those questions and be prepared to answer them honestly. Because they might want you to take a polygraph to verify that you haven't cheated. Because for some spouses, there's a line like, okay, you did pornography. That's not good, but I can work with that. But if you cheated, that's a different thing I need to heal from. I need to think about that. And if you have no way of proving that, they might just assume that you did. And that could end the relationship unnecessarily. So it's okay. You can find a polygrapher in your area, volunteer. Say, if you want, I'll be happy to take a polygrapher. Let her find or him find the polygrapher. And you can do it that way. So what you tell is when it started, it started at this age, had this kind of frequency to it, and it lasted until the last time. Because otherwise they're going to ask you all these questions and it's going to be the 4 o'clock in the morning kind of conversation. So you don't need to go into detail about the genre. Okay, that's not necessary. But you want to go into when it started, when it stopped, and frequency, because those are usually questions that are going to be asked. And just be prepared for any kind of fallout. Have an overnight bag if they ask you to stay somewhere overnight. Give them space to, do whatever. Okay, if you want parameters on who they talk to, ask for that. Say, listen, while I'm getting help, can we just keep it between you and us and the counselor or the pastor or whoever ever helping us? And let me get some recovery and be willing to say, listen, I'll take a polygraph in 2 or 3 months to verify that I'm staying clean. That's good for you to do because it helps you stay accountable when you have that desire and you're alone and you got your phone and it's not blocked and you found another way around it, or get a magazine. You might be done with the addiction, but the addiction might be done with you. So the polygraph gives you an extra tool, but it also gives them okay, if you're that committed and that serious, they're more likely to buy into a short-term process than a long-term process at the moment of disclosure. Okay? We have a video called Disclosure. The link's in the description, and it talks about the different types of disclosure. At this point, you're just talking about, I'm struggling, I want help, I'm getting help, I need help, and here's the information. And let her know that there's help for her. If she's a partner betrayal trauma, if it's your husband, get a betrayed man video and let him walk through that so he can get some support for himself. So I want to encourage you. I've seen thousands of men and women get better. I've seen couples restored. Marriage is better, sex is better, life is better, parenting is better. Recovery can be the biggest gift that you ever give to yourself and to them. You'll mature spiritually, emotionally, morally. You'll become the person that they thought you were, or even better. So again, I want to say I'm proud of you for even considering this step. You don't control outcomes. And you have to decide about this whole process. But here, this has been some maybe helpful tips you would not have thought of. So if you need help, please call the office, 719-278-3708. And again, if you haven't subscribed, we have so many helpful videos on this topic. And if you have a question, put it in the box. And I want to encourage you that you're making a very good decision to become clean for the rest of your life.